know, I was sitting around, I was very young. I was like...
How old were you?
20, 21. And I was like, what should I call? I was in a bar in upstate New York. And I was just sitting there and I was thinking of names. And like, what can I call the band? And I thought of the song Just As the 5 O'Clock Hero. And then I thought to myself, well, the 5 O'Clock Heroes, that works. And so I kept it. You know, we've been friends for a very long time, and when I knew her, she was just a kid. I mean, she was just a teenager, and we were playing shows in England, and she dated a good friend of mine from another band, and then that's how we met. And she had like dirty blonde hair down to here, you know. And then she moved to New York, and she stayed with me for a period of time, 2 or 3 months, and she got on her own feet, and then just exploded after 2 or 3 years. She cut her hair, and that was when things went crazy. So when we did the song, I originally wrote the song in French with a French artist called Emily Simon.
Oh, really?
And the female part was in French, and my part was in English. And then Aggie used to come over to, you know, every time she'd be back in town, it was like once every week, once every 2 weeks, she would come over, and we'd like, you know, just drink and sit around and just listen to music. She loves music, you know. She writes it, she sings it all the time. So she heard the song. She goes, well, you know, why don't we, you know, try and translate that into English, and maybe I'll try and sing it. And I said, yeah, all right, well, let's go for it. And we did it pretty easily. We went into the studio. She recorded it within a 2 or 3 hour period, and then that was it. The first album, we were very broke, and we were lucky because I didn't know them, but we were lucky then because we were just playing the circuit in the city in New York, and we were playing little shows, and we did a residency at this little place called Lit down the basement, very like the Cavern Club kind of thing. And it started to get very busy, and we started to get some interest. And a couple of producers would come down, and I was introduced to a guy called Eli Janney, who ended up doing our whole first album. And he suggested, look, I have this studio we can go into. It was James Ihar's studio, the Smashing Pumpkins guy.
Right.
And we went in over 4 days, and we basically recorded our set, you know, the set that we would play at night. And that was what happened. And we had no money, so we did it. I was bartending then. And every time we were going to the studio, I would be able to give him, you know, money in cash, essentially, to try and like record the album. And then we were lucky again, because once we did the album, we did about 4 songs in each day. So over 4 days we got it. And then we were very fortunate that Eli was very close to a guy called Greg Calby, who was a masterer, and he'd mastered John Lennon records. He's an amazing guy, very sweet guy. And he's really expensive. He's like $3,500 a day. But he owed Eli a favor from another artist he worked with. And so we were allowed to go and work with Greg Calby. And that was a wonderful experience. My biggest thing from writing is worrying about, you know, if I'm writing a lyric, are you going too deep in it, right? So, because it's difficult, but you have to sort of, sometimes you hide certain things with just metaphors, you know, you try and be a little more...
Generalize.
Yeah, definitely. Right. That's kind of important. I definitely been personal in the, you know, yes, for sure. On the second album, more so than the first. Definitely much more personal. You know, I mean, Judas is all about, you know, it's all about loyalty and not being loyal. I sort of miss that dry humour sometimes. You know, you kind of you can have really magical times, moments in your life, but you can always also have. It's a very sort of mentally structured place. It kind of keeps you in your place, and I don't like that. I don't like being told where and what I can do. I don't like being sort of restricted. I am a clown, just on my own. I don't need to dress up.
Okay. Good.
So no. I did dress up once. I dressed up as like this pathetic version of like halfway Superman. You know, you wear the Superman t-shirt and you have the open shirt. Rather than going like full-blown Superman, I went sort of